Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that might shake you up a bit, but you need to hear it. The way you allow a man to treat you starts with how you treat yourself. A man will never, and I repeat, never value you more than you value yourself. You can't walk around asking for respect if you're not giving it to yourself first. You can't expect someone to love you like a queen when you don't even talk to yourself like royalty. See, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, every little detail tells the world what your value is. You show people how to treat you by the energy you give, by the boundaries you hold, and by the standards you don't bend on. And let me be real with you. The world is full of men who are watching, testing, and evaluating. They're seeing what they can get away with, not because they're bad. Some are, yeah. But most of them are just responding to what you allow. If you keep accepting the bare minimum, that's all you get. If you let a man come and go in your life like your heart's a revolving door, don't be surprised when he never settles. Men are simple. They are, I'm telling you. They don't need a lot of instruction, but they do need clarity. When a woman knows her worth, when she sets the tone from the start, when she shows she's not here for games, that man will either rise up or walk out. And let me tell you something. If he walks out, good. Because a man who can't handle a woman who knows her value ain't a man who deserves her presence. You think being easygoing will keep a man? Nah. Being valuable keeps a man. Being unavailable to nonsense keeps a man. Being selective with your time, your energy, your body, that keeps a man. And not just any man, but the right man. The man who's looking for more than just a body. He's looking for a partner. He's looking for a queen. But how can he see your crown if you keep dimming your light to fit his comfort zone? See, a woman who knows her value don't run behind no man. She walks with purpose. She speaks with power. She smiles with peace. Because she's not looking for someone to complete her. She already knows she's whole. She's not desperate for attention because she gives herself validation. She doesn't need a man to tell her she's beautiful. She looked in the mirror this morning and said it herself. That kind of woman is rare. And because she's rare, she's respected. You hear what I'm saying? A rare woman demands rare treatment. She don't settle for less because she understands that her time, her heart, her presence is not on sale. Let me break it down a little more. You ever been to a high-end boutique? You walk in, the prices ain't even listed. You know why? Because they expect you to already know the value. You ever seen someone walk into Chanel or Louis Vuitton and start bargaining? No. They either got it or they walk out. That's how you need to treat yourself. Stop being the clearance rack version of who you are just because you're afraid a man might leave. Let him leave. If a man only wants you at 70% off, he ain't never going to pay full price. And if he can't afford you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, he's not ready for you. Simple as that. Now, I'm not saying walk around with arrogance. This ain't about thinking you're better than anybody. It's about understanding that you bring something to the table that ain't just looks. You bring peace. You bring loyalty. You bring faith, wisdom, strength, and patience. You bring joy. You bring fire. You bring the kind of love that a real man can build an empire with. But here's the twist. A man can only build an empire if the queen knows she's royalty. If she's too busy doubting herself, questioning her beauty, shrinking to fit in, he won't even see her. And don't let loneliness trick you into thinking you're in love. That's another thing. Sometimes you stay in situations because you're afraid to start over, because you don't want to be alone. But let me tell you something. There's peace in solitude. There's strength in choosing yourself. There's power in walking away from what doesn't serve you. And when you walk away with your head held high, God will always send better. But He can't bless who you pretend to be. He can only bless who you truly are. So stop pretending that less is enough. Stop pretending that being mistreated is okay. Stop pretending that at least he comes home is a reason to stay. Know your value, because the moment you do, you'll stop entertaining men who don't. Men treat women based on the signals they pick up. You teach them how to treat you. So if you allow disrespect, inconsistency, lies, broken promises, they'll keep feeding it to you. But when you set the bar high and you don't lower it just because you're attracted or because you're lonely or because he said he was sorry, then you create space for the man who's actually ready to meet that standard. And when he shows up, you'll know. Because he won't ask you to shrink. He'll tell you to shine. He won't play with your heart. He'll protect it. He won't waste your time. He'll build with you. But none of that happens until you realize what you're worth. So ask yourself right now, what do I believe I deserve? And if the answer is peace, love, honesty, and commitment, then stop settling for chaos, confusion, lies, and situationships. Stand up, stand firm, and understand that a man will treat you like a queen the moment you start acting like one. And acting like a queen doesn't mean being cold. It means being clear. It means being confident. It means saying, this is what I bring and this is what I require. And trust me, when the right man sees you standing in your power, he won't run. He'll rise. Listen, there's a big difference between setting boundaries and building walls. A lot of women get this part confused, and I get it. It comes from being hurt. When you've been lied to, played with, or taken for granted, it's natural to want to protect yourself. So you shut down. You stop trusting. You stop opening up. And before you know it, you built a wall so high that not even a good man can climb over it. But here's what you got to understand. Walls keep everybody out. Boundaries let the right people in and keep the wrong ones out. See, a boundary is a form of self-respect. It's you saying, this is how I deserve to be treated. This is what I will accept. This is what I will not tolerate. And that's powerful. Boundaries are not about control. They're not about punishment. They're about clarity. You're giving a man a blueprint on how to love you properly. A man can't read your mind. He doesn't know what you've been through unless you show him. But when you show him by example, when you hold firm to your standards, not with attitude, not with drama, but with quiet strength, then he either steps up or he steps off. Now, let me keep it real. A man who wants something casual, something easy, something temporary, he will get frustrated with your boundaries. Why? Because your boundaries block his access. A man who's only trying to get physical with you, who's only in it for the thrill, who has no intention of committing, he'll start telling you you're too much, you're too serious, or you have trust issues. But that's not true. You're not too much. You're just too much for him. That's not your problem. That's his level. Don't let anyone talk you out of having standards just because they don't want to meet them. People will try to convince you that you're being unreasonable when really you're just no longer tolerating disrespect. They'll tell you you're guarded when really you're just selective with your energy now, and you should be. You've only got so much time, so much love, so much patience. You can't keep pouring all that into people who don't give it back. Let me tell you what boundaries look like. Boundaries say if you say you're going to call me and you don't, I'm not going to chase you. Boundaries say if you keep breaking promises, I'm not going to keep giving you chances. Boundaries say if you cheat on me, I will leave. Not argue, not beg, not cry. I will leave. That's not toxic. That's not bitter. That's healthy. That's self-love. That's you refusing to be mistreated. And here's something else. Boundaries actually help the right man love you better. Yeah, read that again. A real man appreciates a woman with boundaries. Why? Because it gives him something to respect. It gives him direction. It gives him the chance to show you that he's serious. A good man doesn't want to guess what you want. He wants to know what matters to you. And when you tell him and show him and stand firm in it, that man will adjust if he values you. But a wall says, I don't trust you no matter what you do. A wall says, I've been hurt, so I won't even try. A wall says, every man is the same. And let me tell you something, every man ain't the same. But if you keep treating the next man like the last man, you're going to miss a blessing. You're going to sabotage a good thing before it can even grow. Boundaries require communication. Walls avoid it. Boundaries allow intimacy to build safely. Walls block it. A woman with boundaries knows when to say yes, when to say no, and when to walk away. A woman behind a wall says no to everything, pushes away everyone, and ends up lonely even when someone's trying to love her. You deserve more than that. You deserve real connection. But real connection comes when both people feel safe. And you make yourself safe by knowing your limits, not by isolating your heart. You got to be brave enough to love again, but wise enough to protect your peace. That's the balance. You can be soft and strong at the same time. You can be open and cautious at the same time. You can be loving and guarded with wisdom, not fear. Stop letting your past keep you in prison. What happened to you before, that wasn't love. That was a lesson. Learn from it. Don't live in it. Sometimes the reason you keep attracting the same kind of men is because you haven't fully healed. You're still reacting from pain. You're still expecting betrayal. You're still checking phones, doubting compliments, assuming the worst. That's not protection, baby. That's fear, and fear makes you hard, cold, distant. But love, real love, requires vulnerability. It requires honesty. It requires you to show up as you are, boundaries and all, and trust that the right man will honor that. Let's make it clear. A boundary isn't a punishment, it's a filter. It doesn't mean you're angry or bitter. It means you're wise and selective. And any man who's truly meant for you will pass through that filter with respect, not resistance. Because men know when a woman respects herself, she raises the bar. And real men love the challenge of rising to that bar. They love the feeling of earning your trust, earning your heart, earning your time. A woman with boundaries makes a man better, not bitter. So don't be afraid to say what you need. Don't be scared to walk away when those needs aren't met. Don't shrink just to keep a man who doesn't deserve your full size. Stand tall, speak clearly, set your standards like bricks, and don't apologize for building your peace on them. That's how queens move. Let me ask you something straight up. How do you expect a man to see your worth if you don't even see it yourself? See, it don't work like that. A man will only value you to the level that you value yourself. You set the tone for how people treat you. If you walk like you ain't enough, talk like you ain't enough, act like you ain't enough, then don't be surprised when people treat you like you ain't enough. You got to walk into the room like you belong there, not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you know who you are. Confidence ain't about arrogance. It's about knowing what you bring to the table. And if you know you bring peace, loyalty, love, support, and integrity, baby, you are the table. You ain't begging no man to see your shine. He either recognizes your light or he gets blinded by it. Now, here's the real. If you don't believe you deserve better, you'll keep settling for less. That's why so many women stay stuck in toxic situations, holding on to the potential of a man rather than the reality of who he is. You keep trying to get him to change, hoping he'll wake up and realize how amazing you are. But here's the thing, your worth should never be a secret. You shouldn't have to convince anyone to love you right. See, when you know your worth, you don't argue for basic things like respect, communication, and effort. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg for attention, you command presence. You don't try to fit into a man's life if it means shrinking who you are. You stand tall in your truth and let the right one make room for you. A woman who knows her worth moves differently. She's not desperate for love, she's deserving of it. She's not asking for validation, she carries it within her. She doesn't need someone to complete her. She's already whole. And because of that, she naturally attracts men who see her as a prize, not a project. There's a huge difference between being pursued and being played. But when your self-esteem is low, you confuse attention with intent. You think just because he calls or texts or shows up every now and then he cares? Nah. A man who values you makes you feel valued consistently, not occasionally. And let me tell you something else. Your worth doesn't decrease because someone else couldn't see it. That man who ghosted you, cheated on you, took you for granted, he didn't leave because you weren't enough. He left because he wasn't ready for someone like you. Stop tying your value to his behavior. Some men will mishandle you simply because they don't know how to handle a woman of substance. That's not your fault. That's their limitation. But here's where it gets deep. Sometimes we can't recognize our own worth because we've been programmed not to. Maybe you were raised in an environment where love had to be earned. Maybe you saw your mother settle. Maybe you were told to be quiet, not cause problems. Be nice even when it hurt. Maybe your first love broke you so bad that now you second guess your own value. That's real. But let me tell you, healing is your responsibility. You can't keep walking around wounded, expecting someone else to come fix you. You got to fix you. You got to look in the mirror and say, I am enough exactly as I am. Self-worth starts with self-talk. What are you saying to yourself daily? Are you calling yourself stupid for trusting the wrong guy? Are you telling yourself you'll never find someone who treats you right? Are you looking in the mirror and only pointing out your flaws? That's got to stop. You can't tear yourself down and expect others to build you up. You got to speak life into yourself. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am loved. I am chosen. I am more than my past. Because when you operate from that space, you stop accepting crumbs. You stop trying to make excuses for a man's lack of effort. You stop breaking your back to prove your worth to someone who never deserved you in the first place. And you definitely stop being afraid to walk away when your peace is being disturbed. A woman who knows her worth will leave even if she loves him, if he no longer aligns with her value. That takes strength. That takes clarity. That takes self-respect. I want to say this loud and clear. You are not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong one. A man who's ready will not be intimidated by your standards. He'll be inspired by them. He won't shrink in your presence. He'll rise. Because a good man recognizes the difference between a woman who just wants a man and a woman who knows what she deserves in a man. You don't want someone who's with you just because he can't be alone. You want someone who chooses you because he knows your worth. Stop waiting on a man to crown you queen. You are already royalty. Start treating yourself like it. Invest in yourself. Take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. Have your own goals, your own peace, your own identity. Because when you bring that kind of energy into a relationship, a man either respects it or gets replaced. And let me tell you something. When you really know your worth, you're not afraid of being alone. You're afraid of settling. So stand tall. Know what you bring. Stop looking for love from people who don't even love themselves. Stop giving passes to men who keep failing the same test. And most importantly, stop asking, why wasn't I enough? When the real question is, why did I think I had to prove I was? Your worth is not up for negotiation. It's not based on someone else's opinion. It's built in. And when you finally realize that, you'll never allow anyone to treat you like you're ordinary again. Ladies, let me put it plain. You cannot keep giving out wife-level love to someone who hasn't even proven he's worth boyfriend status, let alone husband. See, too many women fall into the trap of doing everything for a man, hoping that if you just love him hard enough, stay loyal long enough, and sacrifice deep enough, he'll finally see your worth and make you his wife. But let me break it down for you. That's not how this works. A man doesn't commit because of how much you give. A man commits when he decides that you are the woman he cannot live without. That's a decision, his decision. It ain't based on your cooking, cleaning, your support, your patience, or your loyalty. All of that matters, sure, but only after commitment, not in exchange for it. Too many women out here playing wife, praying for a ring, and staying stuck in a cycle where they give and give while he just takes and takes. You're washing his clothes, cooking his meals, paying half the bills, doing everything his mama used to do. But guess what? You ain't his mama and you ain't his wife either. You're his girlfriend, or worse, just someone he's talking to. Let me tell you something about men. We're not complicated, but we are intentional. If a man wants you, he'll move mountains to get you. If a man sees you as his future, he'll let it be known. But if he's just enjoying the benefits while keeping the commitment off the table, he's getting exactly what he wants with none of the responsibility. You think doing wife things is going to earn you the ring, but he's already comfortable. Why would he change the game when he's winning without effort? It's like this. You don't hand someone a diploma on the first day of school. They have to earn it. Go to class, pass tests, show up, do the work. Same goes for relationships. Why are you giving away the rewards without seeing the effort? You're doing relationship gymnastics trying to impress a man who hasn't even made you exclusive. You're loyal to someone who's still acting single. You're building a home with someone who hasn't even built you a future. There's power in boundaries. Boundaries are not about withholding love. They're about protecting your heart. When you start with standards, not sacrifice, you teach people how to treat you. You teach him that love is earned through mutual respect and consistency, not just by sticking around while he figures himself out. You teach him that your time, body, and energy are valuable. And most importantly, you teach yourself that you don't need to bend until you break just to be loved. Now look, I'm not saying don't be kind. I'm not saying don't love deeply. I'm saying love with wisdom. Be kind with clarity. Be loyal with limits. Because when you overgive, you start undervaluing yourself. And when you undervalue yourself, so does he. Before long, he starts expecting you to always be there, no matter what he does. He stops trying. He stops investing. And you sit there wondering why you feel empty, tired, and unappreciated. You ever seen a man chase after something he really wants? It's relentless. It's focused. It's intentional. That's how you know the difference. if he's dragging his feet, giving excuses, avoiding commitment, he ain't serious. A real man, when he knows, he knows. But if you give everything away in the meantime, he'll enjoy the ride and still leave when it's time to grow up. Stop building empires with men who won't even build consistency. Stop helping him find himself while you lose yourself. Stop waking up every day thinking if you just love him harder, he'll finally change. You are not God. You cannot fix a man. You cannot lead a man to become the man he was meant to be. He has to choose that path for himself. All you can do is decide whether you want to walk it with him or not. Now let me give it to you straight. If he hasn't made it clear what you are to him, then don't assume. Stop playing the guessing game. If a man hasn't claimed you, introduced you to his people, put a plan in motion for your future, why are you giving him the privileges of a man who has? You're not his live-in chef. You're not his unpaid therapist. You're not his emotional punching bag. You are a woman with value. And value doesn't beg to be seen. It commands respect. You don't audition to be someone's wife. You are a wife in your heart, in your habits, in your standards, but only for the right man. That means holding off on the extras until he's proven worthy of them. You can still be loving. You can still support him emotionally. But don't be giving out the full package to someone who's only offering the bare minimum. Let him rise to meet you. Let him pursue you. Let him show you what his intentions are. And if they don't line up with your vision, don't stick around hoping they will change. Love is not supposed to be confusing. If you're confused, he's not doing enough. And if he's not doing enough, you're probably doing too much. Respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that asks you to shrink. Honor yourself enough to stop overgiving to underwhelming men. Don't get caught up in the fear of being alone. Being alone in peace is far better than being in a relationship where you're constantly proving your worth. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking someone who's not equipped to give it. And that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to recognize it. You don't need to threaten to leave, manipulate, or beg for respect. All you got to do is stop giving more than you're getting. When you pull back your energy, the truth always shows up. That's when you'll know who's really in it for the long haul. Because the man who sees you as his future won't wait until you're tired to show up. He'll show up from day one. He won't want you doing all the work. He'll match your effort. He won't just enjoy the benefits. He'll build the bond. And he'll know this woman is special and I better act right or I'll lose her. So love smart, love strong, but don't love foolish. Don't give the crown to someone who hasn't earned the throne. You're the prize. Act like it. And when you do, the right man will treat you like the queen you already are.